Continuing on with the Clone Wars, Season 7, Episode 2, A Distant Echo.
10-second self-promotion.
I wrote a book. I have t-shirts for sale. If you want to support the channel monthly, you can click join down below to join the fleet or sign up on Patreon. Done! As we know from the previous episode, a squad of elite clone troopers called the Bad Batch were deployed. Their task was stealing an algorithm that predicts the Republic's every move. And in the end, they discovered that Echo, a clone we all thought was dead for a very long time, is still alive in some capacity. I liked all stages of this episode. The very beginning was fun and little loosey-goosey. Anakin sneaks off with Rex's help to go talk to Padme, and they have a hologram conversation. It's very lovey-dovey. Kenobi walks up to the barracks where Anakin is. Rex is standing outside, knocks on the door, which is an indication that Kenobi is coming, and Anakin has to leave. I don't know, they're sneaking around. I've talked about this before, but hiding this relationship and the dogma of the Jedi and not being able to love or have connections is very strange to me. And I'm curious if the High Republic era is going to have this kind of dogma as well, or if that's going to be a relatively newer thing when it comes to Jedi and their rules and whatnot. Do you know what I mean? But Kenobi says something like, "Did you at least tell Padme that I said hello?" So, Kenobi's not stupid. He knows what's going on. He had connection. He had a kind of a relationship of his own with the Duchess. So it just seems like all the Jedi are sneaking around, right? It's kind of funny. Obey these rules, obey these rules, obey these rules, says the person who does not obey these rules. So the Bad Batch, Rex and Anakin, they're tasked with going to save Echo. It's a little mission. Hunter, one of the Bad Batch members, and kind of the ringleader, thinks it's a trap. Seems like everybody kind of thinks that Rex might be letting his emotions trump a little bit of rationale. I didn't realize that so many people had an issue with the Bad Batch. I don't really understand it. I mean, I guess a lot of people don't like the Bad Batch. They think they're stereotypical, which, yeah, I get it. That, they're kind of like Team Fortressy Ninja Turtles, right? But they're pretty fun too. There's a distinction here. Would I want to serve alongside them? No, of course not. They're reckless. They don't really formulate plans. They're arrogant. You wouldn't really want to be friends with them, I guess. So no, of course not. If they were real, I wouldn't like them. But this is a story, damn it. They're not real. And when I say that I like them as characters in the story because they're fun in the story. And I'm interested to see how Rex and Anakin and everyone who operates under some kind of rules of engagement or battle plans have to contend with this wild-ass bunch. I like the Bad Batch because of all of these reasons that a lot of people don't like them. So this episode, A Distant Echo, is very simple. It's a very simple, cut and dry episode. Our crew lands on Skako Minor. Is that what I think that's what it was called. I could look it up, and I'm not going to. A big-ass reptile creature with a native of this planet grabs Anakin, takes Anakin to their village. Hunter goes on the chase. There's just this local village and a little confrontation. I love the scene where Tech is translating the villagers' dialogue, his language. Ultimately, the chief of this village, the native chief here, agrees to send some scouts with the clone crew to help find Echo, to help find their friend. Now, if I had to guess, and you guys know that I write these scripts as I'm watching the episode, but if I had to guess, the locals helping out the clones will come to bite them in the ass. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe separatist forces will go out and try to hunt the people who help the Republic. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking a little too deep with it here. Now we see Wat Tambor, kind of a higher up in the Techno Union, right? There's an interesting conversation here between him and Admiral Trench. Admiral Trench warns Tambor that this clone group is coming to fight them, and Tambor says, they have corporate neutrality. The Republic can't do that to them. And Trench basically tells him this is not normal. These clones are not normal. But the idea of corporate neutrality, right? It was interesting. They feel like they're immune and safe. They're kind of hiding their allegiance here. The conspiracy grows. And despite the Bad Batch being kind of loose cannons, earlier in the episode, Anakin asks Hunter who they answer to, and Hunter can't answer that because they kind of operate as their own little entity. And because of this recklessness, because of this autonomy, they're able to find Echo. And maybe they realize that the Techno Union, corporate neutrality be damned. Can you think of a better group of soldiers to be alongside with Anakin? I mean, they are like the clone version of Anakin. Anakin often goes against the grain. He often formulates plans on his own without approval. He often operates as his own entity. And now you have the Bad Batch. And they're basically clone versions of a reckless Anakin. So you got Anakin, who's kind of a maverick. You got the Bad Batch, who are crazy ass cowboys. And you got Rex, who's kind of a by the books kind of guy, right? It's a very interesting dynamic. I really like it. So our crew, they split up, they go through this base. They find where Echo is being held or where they think he's being held. Tambor says something like, you know, your friend is dead, we have his mind. And it's at this point I thought they were walking into a trap because, you know, they knew that these clones were coming. They had time to prepare. They did deploy a lot of droids, but which was an awesome scene. Anakin coming in, pushing them all, just this big battle in this confined space. But yeah, I did expect kind of a trap here. I actually did expect Echo to be dead and that they had like his brain in a vat or something like that. I think I might have liked that a little more if the episode actually ended on a big downer like that and kind of messed up Rex's head a little bit, you know. But talking about action, the past 2 episodes have had some of the best action in the entire series, in my opinion. The way it's shot, the smoothness, the sweeping of these shots. I think I described it in my last video. It's almost like ballet with blasters. The way the Bad Batch move and the camera follows them around over shoulders, and it's really fun to see. It's very dynamic for sure. So in the end, we find out that Echo is actually alive. He's in like a cryo chamber kind of thing, a stasis chamber. He's hooked up to a bunch of things. He's plugged into the Matrix. So Rex finds his friend. I'm sure that Echo is going to provide a lot of data, a lot of strategic data that the Republic can use. Or maybe they've been pumping his brain full of a bunch of false information. Who knows? But overall, these past 2 episodes and this episode just feel like a natural continuation of the Clone Wars. It feels like another Clone Wars episode. I mean, Jesus Christ. I don't really know what people are complaining about. I mean, 99% of seasons 1 through 6 were pretty similar to this. Why are people complaining? Do people just have to complain on the internet? They hate something before something even comes out? Man. Some people are goofy. I'll see you guys in a week.